Neil, congratulations on the new role, Assistant Sporting Director. Just tell us a little bit about how excited you are about this new challenge.
Well, thank you very much. Obviously incredibly excited and looking forward to sort of another step at this football club. Also incredibly proud and honoured to have been promoted into this position. I think everybody knows what this club means to me. It's a club I've worked at for a long time and given absolutely everything to, and equally grateful to have had the opportunity to do that. But in terms of this promotion, obviously, really excited and really keen to go and play my part.
Do you think your knowledge of the club and your long-term association with the club is going to help you in terms of this new role?
I think it will. Yeah, I think it will. I think in any role, you need to know your product. It certainly isn't going to be detrimental. And of course, I've worked here for a long time, and you sort of get a feel for the place. You know, I don't like talking about DNA, but you just get to know what makes it tick, how people work, how departments work, what the supporters want, what they like to see, that sort of thing. So, of course, the experience you have from working here over a number of years is obviously going to benefit that for you. So, the thing is, it only gets you so far. You know, it's fine knowing the club inside out, but ultimately it's about what you do. You know, do your job properly, do you work hard enough? And you know, I can assure you there'll be no one works any harder than me, but yeah, knowing the club, knowing what it's about, knowing its cultures and its philosophies is great, but ultimately you've still got to go and put the work in and make sure it happens.
And you're moving into this role after holding the post of loans manager over the last few seasons. Just tell us how pleased you are with the progress that's been made in that area at the club.
Yeah, it was something that I'm very proud of. You know, we started this job, if you like, sort of 6 and a bit years ago, when the club didn't have a loans manager, and at the time not many clubs did. I think if you look now, probably every Premier League club has one. I would think probably a good half of the Championship as well. So clubs are now recognising how important it is. So we had to start it from scratch. You know, literally it was a blank canvas. There was nothing to follow on from, and we had to go and make it work. And there was a lot of people, a lot of members of staff that deserve a lot of credit for how well the loans programme is done here. As obviously the manager of it, of course you're overseeing it then, and you're making decisions on how it works. But I think everything is always judged on the success of it. And if you look at the number of players that have come through the loan process to either go and get themselves careers at good levels, increase the value, or ultimately come back and play for us in the first team is what you're going to be judged on. And pleasingly, we've had a lot of success stories in that regard with the likes of the Murphys, with Maddison, with Godfreys, with Cantwells and others as well. So I'm very proud and pleased that how well we've sort of developed it and shaped it and overseen it to. I think it's always when you get recognition from external sources is always the best way. You know, it's okay getting a pat on the back from people you work with every day, or local media, but it's when people recognise it externally, and obviously we've had that quite a lot with the loans programme. So it's something I think we've done very well with, and certainly keen to make sure that continues.
And Andy Hughes is coming in to take your place as the role of loans manager. Are you looking forward to working with him and supporting him in the early first few weeks of his new role?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it'd be crazy not to. You know, I'll still be overseeing the loans programme with Andy as the loan player manager now. So I've been working closely with him now for the last 4 to 6 weeks to make sure that he's able to hit the ground running, if you like, with the things that we've learned, the mistakes we've made. So I'll be trying to pass as much of that as possible on to him, so that when he takes over the reins himself, then he's got that knowledge, if you like, as to what we've accumulated and accrued over the last 6 years.
And just tell us overall the overarching sort of role, what it's going to be about, how much contact you're going to have with Daniel Farker, for example, Stuart Webber as well, the guys at the academy. Just tell us what you expect from the new role.
Well, literally, as it says on the tin, I'm assisting the sporting director, so literally covering everything in the football department, from, as you say, academy, loans, and particularly first team. So just to give you an example, with the academy, we'll be discussing the strategies at the academy and transfers, bringing in players. With the loans, as we just said, I'll oversee that, and obviously the first team, all the aspects of the first team, from performance to recruitment, everything that it entails. And what it will do, it will allow Stuart to go and focus on areas that he probably needs to focus on or wants to focus on now that he's got an opportunity to have myself assisting him. But to work together primarily, and to work together as a team, obviously to do the very best we can for this football club.
And obviously the club has a clear strategy and philosophy and culture in place at the minute, but are you also looking forward to maybe bringing some fresh ideas and look at some things that we could potentially do better and improve on?
Yeah, I think in any role, you know, for me there's a fine line between trying to stamp your mark on something and trying to fix something that isn't broken. I think that's where a lot of people can sometimes get it wrong. Anybody going into a new role, you know, your initial thought is, you know, how can I change it? How can I stamp my mark on it? But I think sometimes the best decision is to leave alone if it's working well. And so that's the difference for me. What can I bring to the role? Well, we'll see. We'll see. You know, my experience, my knowledge, obviously being promoted into this position tells me that people are saying you're ready to do this. But to go in and try and throw your weight around and change things that really don't need fixing, and of which there are many at the football club, would be stupid. So hopefully, yeah, of course, I'd like to add my input and change things that need changing things, and overseeing certain things at the football club that might need doing differently, but also recognising how much good work is being done and just leave that alone and support it.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Stuart Webber, someone you're going to be working closely with, someone you've worked closely with already at the football club. Just how much are you looking forward to learning even more off him and working on a much closer basis with him personally?
Absolutely. I mean, I've said before, and I think people know me, you know, I don't do BS. You know, it's sometimes to my undoing. I'd pretty much say it as it is. I try to, if it's possible, and I've said many times, I think he's excellent. I think what he's done at the football club, when he came in, how he's worked, you know, and I've worked closely with him since he came through the door, to be honest with you. But obviously, probably in the last 12 to 18 months, a lot closer, with probably one eye on what's happening now with this role. So obviously, know him very well, know what makes him tick, know how hard he works and how he gets things done. So obviously now I'm his assistant, then obviously we'll be working very closely together going forward. And you know, I can't speak highly enough of him. You know, he's someone who has come in, and you talk about stamping your mark on things. You know, I think he showed everybody what he can do. Obviously, this season is a big challenge, and it's one that, you know, we intend to tackle head on. But I'm really looking forward to continuing the close working relationship we have, and obviously pushing things forward.